What's up, guys? Welcome to my review of episode 11. Let's get into it. So basically, the wave begins and no. So the wave begins, and Naofumi is he's again chose the role to stay back and defend the village. Turns out that he left the other three to do the hard work. And they ended up taking too long, 3 hours. And so he decides to, he'd want to go check it out himself. Be like, all right, well, they're taking too long. I need to go and figure this out because we won't last. And so he goes and meets up with the other three heroes fighting I guess you can call it the Soul Eater, whoever was spawning the enemies on the ship. And it turns out those three were just, they couldn't figure out what they were doing. They were basically, killing enemies, but they kept coming back and they kept arguing who to attack, how to coordinate. They weren't actually really working together or strategizing on why. I guess even if I was in that position, I don't know how. I wouldn't figure out how to end it either. But it took Naofumi to figure out, to attack the shadows, which I don't know how he came up with that, but it worked. And so after attacking the shadows, all the Soul Eaters that spawned up, they kind of combine together and fuse into one, mega Soul Eater. And basically, I guess it's really strong, right? And all the other heroes decide just to use lightning attacks. I wonder if that's the only element they can use, which is kind of surprising. Really, because you would think that they'd be able to use multiple elements in their attacks, not just all three of them using lightning. And Naofumi, his shield can probably utilize a lot of different elements himself, so I don't know, it just didn't make sense that that's all they used. You figure that after all this time, all this training, that they would be able to learn more diverse elemental attacks for different enemies, just like you would in any game, right? So Naofumi figures out a strategy to chip away at its health, utilizing Philo and Ratphilia. But it was mainly just just a hit and dodge, and it didn't really do that much damage, but it did more. It did more than the other three guys. Just attacking it with lightning. But they figured that it would take too long. They showed clips of the villagers or the guys down there fighting the waves, and it's already been going on for over 3 hours. So everywhere else where the waves happening, the longer it goes, the worse off it's gonna be. So now Fumi decides to use his trump card, his rage shield, because he knows that that's his strongest weapon. But of course he's hesitant to use it because of what happened before with Ratphilia. In his Rage Shield mode, we get a glimpse of the dragon zombie. He starts talking in his head, and apparently, I guess from what it looks like, the dragon, the dragon's rage from how he died, is the fuel for that power. It's and it looks like the dragon's rage is acting through Naofumi. It transformed him into a sort of dragon, armor and all that. And yeah, I'm curious because before that we didn't see that when he was kind of in his rage mode. It was just a bunch of fire. And so I wonder what exactly the rage shield is. I think we'll figure it out eventually, but it is really interesting to see the dragon in particular. I guess it was the last thing he probably absorbed, which actually I don't think so. He could have, he could have absorbed Philo's feathers, but yeah, well, I guess we'll see. We'll have a better explanation about that later. Philo got caught up in the rage. She became all angry and fired up too, which was also I did not expect that. I really don't know. Maybe it was related to how when she got swallowed by the dragon, because maybe the dragon left a piece of itself too in her. You know, because yeah, but I don't know, because it just didn't seem, it just seemed kind of weird. Maybe it was because if Naofumi did absorb Philo's feathers, right? I mean, it could have triggered, you know, her inner rage too, because maybe the shield just triggers the rage of all the things that it's absorbed, you know, and it gets stronger the more it absorbs, because it gathers more, you know, souls or essence, and yeah, like it could be an explanation, I guess. And then we see his new attack. It was very cool, Iron Maiden. Uh, I did not even expect that to happen. I didn't even know, you know, the shield hero could summon things like that. I mean, I guess he can summon shields, you know, away from him, and so I guess this technically could be a shield too, because you know, same thing as his enclosing shield too. So I don't know. It was pretty awesome. I mean, like, I wonder if it was because of. I wonder if it was an attack that was from that dragon zombie. Like if that was specifically from that. Like I don't know if he already knew that move or not. We learn that that mysterious lady is probably their biggest threat. Glass. That's what she named herself. And so I guess they're going to be fighting her. The wave apparently isn't over yet, as she said. So I'm guessing that, you know, this show will probably be way harder than that Soul Eater, and they'll probably require a lot more teamwork from the heroes. Because, yeah, if they couldn't beat, you know, that Soul Eater, then I'm sure she's like 10 times that, you know. And the one thing I wished they showed more was like the other three heroes' reactions. Because, you know, whenever Naofumi figures stuff out, like no one really acknowledged, you know, the good things he's done. It just seems weird to me that like that I don't know, we don't really know what's in the other heroes' heads. I mean, maybe we know the spear hero is a little more simple than the other guys, but yeah, I don't know. Like they're, you know, just the whole episode, they were just, you know, if their attacks didn't work, they just stood there dumbfounded, didn't do anything. I mean, good thing Ratphilia kind of called them out on it, being, hey, you know, you're heroes. You're not really doing anything. You have the power, and you're not using it. Like, you know, and I mean, mine and the other party members of their heroes, like, basically did nothing. Like, literally did nothing. Just stood there. And, I mean, Naofumi's party is just really showing them up. And, yeah, like, I was hoping that one of those mages would have stuck around with them, because that would have been cool, I think, to have like a mage to give them buffs and heals and stuff like that. But maybe that's something the shield could do as well. I don't know. So what do you guys think about this wave? I guess since they're fighting Glass, she's probably you know, way stronger than the Soul Eater. This wave will live up to, you know, the second wave, right? Because, you know, if they beat that thing, you know, that would have been kind of easy, you know, kind of like the first wave. So do you think that, you know, maybe the heroes need a wake-up call? Maybe she might actually kill one of them and cause them to really think about, you know, their priorities, and maybe they should really work together this time, because, you know, they're really not. Even if those three are, you know, kind of close together compared to Naofumi, who's kind of isolated, those three don't even work together anyways. So, you know, maybe they will eventually, but they probably need a wake-up call. So yeah, hit me up with a like, subscribe, or a comment, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.